Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sunshine Eggs. Jason here. It has been several weeks since I've talked with y'all, and we've been on the road a little bit, had a couple road trips, been to Shine Shack, went to Florida to see some family, and then we had a little bit of weather in between, as well as a road trip to Atlanta. You saw that video going to see the iDrive folks at the International Woodworkers Fair. So we did that. We've got the kiln is on order now, so it is coming. Estimated probably about a month from now we should have that on site, which I don't think I can get ready in time for that anyway, but we're gonna do our best. We've got really good weather now. It was actually a bit cool this morning, which was a nice change. So I think we're over the big heat and time to get down to business and get some things taken care of. I wanted to kind of shoot this from the outside of the container looking in. I will try to take you around there for a minute. But what we're doing today is we're hanging siding on the utility building where the kiln container is going to go. So we're going to catch this first 20 feet here. Oops. And what we're hanging on there is pine siding that we're cutting on the sawmill. So we're putting that on the Timber King. We're cutting 8-inch boards like we have right here. Approximately. Depending on the log, I'm trying to get it close to 8-inch wide as we can to maintain some consistency there, but if it's within an inch or so, that'll be fine. And I'll show you this from the other angle as well, but so we put the 8-inch boards on there, and then we've got a 4-inch batten that goes on the face of it. And if you're not familiar with board and batten siding, the main purpose of it is to be able to use green lumber. So we're coming right off the mill with pine lumber. It's very wet. I think you'll see in this video as we cut a few more logs up. I like to place them vertically on those, you can see these blocks down here. You can't see that. Can you see that one? There you go, you can see these guys. And the free water comes out of those guys immediately. Like we'll take them off the mill, set them up, and there'll be a little puddle of water down there. And so it just goes to show how much moisture content is in these guys. But what you do with the board and batten siding is you connect it one spot right in the middle, and you don't bind it. That way it allows the water to come out. That board can shrink. Then the batten goes over the face of it. And same thing with the batten. You attach it one time right in the center. Ideally, you would avoid. Let me take you around the other side. I think you can see better there. So it's kind of hard to get an angle here. I've got the container and I've got 10 boards already hung. And you can see we've got a little space in here, 1/2-inch gap. And that's actually grown a little bit since they've been installed. And then the 4-inch goes over top to cover that gap. And when you connect that batten, you want to miss these two boards and connect right to, I think you can see that 2x4 right here. I want a screw to go through there and catch that. It allows everything to move, shrink, and not crack the wood. So we're actually running these guys a bit, a bit high, hopefully. And I'll put another horizontal 2x6 behind the tops of these once we know where that needs to be cut off. So we will hang siding the first 20 feet. We'll hang the battens, and then we're gonna stain this guy. I don't know if I can lift this up high enough. So here's what we're gonna be using. It's called one-time wood. So this is the one-time wood, and we went gold and honey in color, and this is the same product that we used on our barn. And it's stated to last 7 years, and that went on in the beginning of 2017. So we're at the end or getting over halfway point of 2024. So we've been over the 7-year mark now. I don't think we have plans to restain the barn just yet. So it's going to be 7+ years on that. So I expect the same performance here in the utility building and go from there. Really good product. The one huge drawback when we use this is I became allergic to the product almost. So I broke out in like hives everywhere. And that's just kind of nature of the beast. If we're going to use this and have really good protection on the building, it's something I'm going to have to deal with. I'm glad it is a bit cooler out now, because what I will do is I'll bundle up. I'll glove up, long sleeves, cover everything we can, and go from there, try to minimize the damage. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So we're gonna get to work here. We're gonna hang. We've got 10 pieces hung. We've got 8 more ready to go, and then we're gonna get back on the sawmill, cut up a few more logs. And I'm guessing we probably need at least, I'll probably go 10 to 15 more boards. We've obviously got more space that we can put those on. So I think I'll hang these 8, hang the few battens that we do have to get that process down, and then we'll get on sawmill, cut up a few more logs, clean those up, and get those hung. I'm guessing this will be a 2-day process. We'll see how quick I can go. But enough of me rambling. Let's get to work, and glad y'all are here. So here's one thing to keep an eye on with these pine boards. They will tend to get a little mold on them, but all that's on the surface. You can see we've got some on these boards. We try to knock the big stuff off with a brush. You can see that little bit of green on there. Yeah, as long as you take the surface off, everything I've read, that should be fine. Okay, so I think you can kind of see that. If you didn't know what we were going for, this is kind of the look here, and you've seen this pretty popular design now. Country style houses are doing this a lot with hardy siding and that, but you got 8-inch board, 4-inch batten, repeat, repeat, repeat. Covers the gap on that, and then we'll stain the entire thing. We're using 2.5 inches on the 2.5-inch deck screws on the board, and then 3.5-inch on the batten. And you can kind of see, like where we don't have battens yet, you see the daylight between the boards, and then we get down to these last few that we have. That's how it'll look on the inside. So time to get on the mill, make some more. I'm guessing that didn't show up on video, but this was just putting 2 battens up. First one I was putting up, second one fell over. Hits green ladder. Knocks bucket of screws all over the place. So guess I'll hang that up, hang 2 battens, and maybe take a lunch break. That's a bummer. I got my little mess cleaned up. Decided to do one more log of board, so we got a decent sized one there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. We need 12 total, so we'll do one more after lunch. But here's kind of what I was talking about earlier. That free water will come out of these guys. You stand in vertical. I mean, that thing's been there 15 minutes. Got a little puddle down there, free water. So yeah, we'll hang these 8 and then go to lunch. Alright, so got some quick lunch in and back at it now. Got this log on the mill. Actually looks like a pretty good log, but then it's got this banana shape, so we've got it tips up, and we'll see what we can get out of it. Looks pretty good. Definitely these beetles are getting in here. We'll see how deep that goes, but I just did a quick count, so we need 3 more boards and 19 battens. We're not going to get all those out of this one, but I think we'll at least get the 3 boards, see how many battens we get, and then go from there. So we probably got this and 1 more log, and then we should have the wall, the siding put up on that wall today is the goal, and then be ready to stain in the morning. But Yeah, let's cut this guy up and see what we can get. Yeah, it's just tough to get in here. This angle between this container and the wall, but right where the ladder's sitting, that's where we've got the battens placed too. So we need 10 more battens and we'll get that finished up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut those up and install those. And I will see y'all tomorrow morning. We'll put some stain on it. Okay, so I told you I'll be back here the next morning, but it's actually been a full week since I've been out here. After I got done last week, I started talking to Miss Kara. I realized like we need to let this wood get down to ambient temperature. So, I mean, in general, the frame is about 20%, which I mean, that's what we get firewood to. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense. We're slightly over that on these guys, on the siding, but I really can't wait any longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this side stained. And it's difficult to see. You can see I'm working down here in this tight little area, so I'm probably not gonna be able to film a whole lot, but I'll catch up with y'all when it's done and show you the completed wall. And I told you before, we're using one-time wood here, and the color on that is Golden Honey, which is the same color that we did on the big barn. And I know I had an allergic reaction to this years ago. So you can see I'm bundled up. I'm actually gonna see if I can tolerate putting a mask back on, rubber gloves, the whole nine, and try to stay protected. And then I'll get right in the shower after I'm done here and hopefully avoid allergic reaction like before, but I'm definitely a little bit nervous on this. So wish me luck. But we're gonna get going and get this side stained, and then I'll show you how it looks when it's done. Come along. All right, that's it. Got that all stained, ready to go. It's right about 2.5 hours. I definitely did start feeling like the stinging in my eyes a little bit like before, but hopefully it's not as bad. I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up, immediately get in the shower, clean up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna push this kiln towards the building, fill that gap down to probably less than 6 inches, and then we're gonna level this guy up, and then we're gonna call that ready to go. So see you guys tomorrow morning. Okay, so this is the next morning, and I think I can squeeze in here a little bit, but you can see this approximately 20-foot long section of board and batten siding. This is the one-time wood. The Golden Honey color. All right, so I just showed you up close the stain color on there. I think that looks really good. And now the next step is to bring that container closer to the building. So we're gonna get the skid steer, go nice and slow. Move this probably within, I'm probably gonna put a block in there, so probably like 5.5, 6 inches off the face of the building and kind of see how close that is. And then we wanna level this guy up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we wanna get it in the wheelhouse. So when we put material in there, the forks aren't not parallel with the bottom of the container. So we can get skid steer and get this guy moving. Come along. All right, we'll call that a wrap for this video. And yesterday we got big news here at Sunshine Acres. So let me take you somewhere else right now. Ta-da, this is it. This is the iDry Air kiln. This is what we've kind of been waiting on for a long time around here. Once that decision was made, iDry, they definitely work pretty quick. So it's here early. We've got, I'll go over here in a few minutes. When we go back to the kiln, we've got several other projects to do before we get ready to install this guy. That's it. This is the iDry Air. I know you can't see much now until we get, I'm not going to unwrap this until we get closer to doing that. But let me take you back down to the container and show you what we've got going on there. So now that we have this kiln positioned and leveled, that opens up the door for multiple other activities to start happening. One is the 8-foot lean-tos on each side of the utility building. So that will go over top of of this container, as well as we'll have an 8-foot on the opposite side of this building as well. So we've got some prep work to get ready for those guys, but for all intents and purposes, they're ready to go. So I just need to get a few materials lined up, get those in hand, and then get those guys on schedule. Now let me bring you in just a little bit closer. One thing I forgot to mention earlier before we moved this container up against the wall was that one-time wood stain finish. I'd mentioned before when we did the barn 7 years ago, I actually had a chemical allergic reaction to it, kind of broke out in hives and that kind of thing. So I was very cautious how I was handling the material yesterday. I think I did pretty good. You saw me, I was bundled up head to toe, covered up. I kept it below, it was 2.5 hours. So we kept the duration short. And I got a few spots where I kind of felt like I got a little rash, a little itchy. And I was like, oh, here we go. I even kind of feel my eyes burning a little bit today hanging out, and it takes like 48 hours to cure. But I hope I dodged the worst of it. Definitely don't feel like I did like 7 years ago when I was handling that material. So now you can see that I'm inside the kiln. The actual kiln unit itself will mount to this wall here. So I think you can see that. So we'll have to cut an opening in that end wall, and then we'll do 2x4 framing around it and be ready to accept the kiln unit on that. Another item we need to do in here is install the baffle. So I have that on order. I think that should probably be here in a week or so, but in order to get ready for it, easy for you to say, I want to run a 4x4 right down the center of the ceiling, and that'll give us material to mount our baffle, which is just roofing material that rolls up, to mount that roofing material baffle to the ceiling and then be able to drop it up and down. Then the last item that we need to do is to protect the floor. So we've got a flooring product that we're going to put down, and then also we're going to get 2 inches of closed cell insulation spray foam put on the walls and the ceilings. And then at that point, we should be ready to install the unit. Now to install the unit, we've got the unit itself. We've got to get power run from the barn up to this location. And then we've also got a moisture metering system that we'll need to install as well. So we're probably looking at, to get ready for this, framing, baffle, interior coatings, and install. So we probably got four episodes here to get this thing up and running and functional. And then we may be slipping in the 8-foot lean-tos in as well. So busy times around here at Sunshine Acres. Super excited. Glad that y'all are coming along for this ride. As I said at the beginning of this, it's been a few weeks since we posted a video, and depending on how things go, we've got some travel dates coming up and some other things on the calendar, so we may or may not be able to get back on that weekly regimen or not, as well as we're kind of pulling off doing the short videos just for a little bit, kind of catch our breath here in the fall and get going again. But super glad y'all are here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, hit subscribe, tell your mama, tell your friends, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.